Hi guys, it's Sharon with Little Britain Company, and today I am doing a tutorial for you on basically this cute little 6x6 album. This is the girl album. I have a video out just kind of showing you all the different things that I did in here. I really love this album. I'm very happy with the way it came out. I'm just going to run through it real quick again. I think one of the things that I didn't show at when I did the tutorial, not the tutorial, when I did the run through, do this one so you can see this one comes out, is that I didn't show you that each one of these pockets. So we have 3 signatures here, and on each one there is. Let me grab something. A pocket on top. So let me get to it. Kind of off. My gracious. It's really not that hard. There we go. So we've got this little pocket there, and then there's a pocket in there, and then there's a pocket here, and then there's a pocket on top of this one. Let's see if I can get this in there. I can feel it. There we go. Oh, because I've got this thing doing something. And then this was the last one. So you have these big pockets, and you could make a nice like piece that automatically goes into the pocket. I didn't do that. There we go. And this when you start adding good heavy stock paper, you're going to get heavier. This is definitely 2 pounds. Maybe, I don't think it's 3, but I definitely think it's about 2 pounds, which is quite extraordinary for an album. So this one's going to be going into the stock for next time we're out at a show. I like the lace, so I found this wonderful lace to put on top. What's funny is I did that last night after I finished filming the walkthrough. And then I put it online, and I was asking people I had already asked people what they thought. And anyway, so I found that, put it on there. And then Kate came back without having seen the finished product and said, what about some lace? So I just think that's kind of funny. I do feel like I need something on either end here. I feel like that's missing something. So I'm still mulling about doing that. Okay, so I'm going to see if I can pull this back any further. Ooh, I don't really want to make you seasick. Just to make it easier on me. So we're going to do a cute little 6x6 album. So this is 6x6 and this is 6x6. This one is 2x6. It is smaller than the last one. This one is 2.5. And that 1/2 inch really makes a difference. So I'll have to be pretty cautious when I'm doing my signatures. I could just do 2 signatures as long as I'm building out the pages. I want this to be simple. I want to make it cost effective so that, I don't feel like I'm giving my work away when I sell it, or hopefully I'll sell it. And people don't feel like they've been charged an arm and a leg, which is usually what happens at craft fairs. People, I say that just came out so wrong. I think people often think that some of the crafts should be cheap because they're homemade, but that's really not the case anymore. You're really looking at, sorry about that, about a lot of money invested in these things. I mean, the amount of paper invested in that little album is quite a bit. And, so I think that just the investment of time and energy is a lot, but there is money in this. So anyway, I'm just saying, I'm going. All right. So I'm going to be using this great black for this one, because this one's going to be, you can see the whole thing on. This one's going to be the B one, which I'm super excited about. Yeah, you can hear I'm already getting a little soda action going here. So good. My soda of choice. So good. When you're getting, if you're new to making albums, when you're getting ready to do an album, I'm going to cover these. When I do these, I'm using 65 pound. I don't use anything heavier because I think it cracks. To me, I have had more, I just have problems with that. I don't want, so when I say cracks, it's paper. So if you fold it too much, it can start to break. And this is where that would happen, right along this spine. I've had that happen after I've gotten something about halfway done, and it just will break your heart. It will break your heart because you're so far into it and you're so invested in what you're doing. So anyway, make sure, for me, I always use, I try not to put in the make sure. I use 65 pound cardstock, and I will, yeah, and I got this. This is from Hobby Lobby. So when I could still get it for $5.99, make sure you have enough of it though. That's what I really did want to say. Regardless, you're going to need a bit of this in order to make sure that it works. And then if you have a backing that you use for everything, again, on this album, I did a frame. I matted everything on this pink cardstock. Everything, or almost everything. That took a long time, but it was also one of the reasons why this book is so substantial. It's nice, it's heavy duty, and but it can, start to confuse you. At least me. All right, so I'm going to start getting ready to do my little album. First things first, I guess I have to open up the paper. Here we go. I have done albums also where I didn't realize how much paper I would need, and I ran out of my bases, and it was just heartbreaking because I just, we didn't live anywhere near, I couldn't, near where I was buying the cardstock, and quite frankly, cardstock, this black might be different from, so this is Hobby Lobby. This one might be different from Joann's, which might be different from a specialty store, which might be different from, you get the picture. So that is relatively important just to keep that in mind. You're going to need it. And this is still really strong stock. This is really strong paper. I still need to be careful with it, but I would not go anything less than, I do not go less than 65 pounds. All right, so I'm going to put the rest of this package aside because I'm going to need it. I'm going to be using it for my signatures. I'm going to be using for extra pages. I just want to make sure I have plenty of it. Okay, so first things first, I need to attach these pieces so I have enough lengthwise to put everything together. And I'm going to use some of my score tape, if I can find it. I've got this one. I'd like to use my 1/2 inch, but I think I am almost out. Oh yeah. Not just almost. Okay. That's okay. So, I'm using score tape. I've used some others. I will say I actually bought some tape from Temu, and that looks very much like this. That has actually been quite successful for me, so I've been really pleased with that one because the price is very good. However, I still really like my score tape, so I just ordered some more. All right. Do I want to keep it that small? I don't know. I'm going to go ahead. This is a quarter. It's supposed to be 1/4 inch. Oh, this might be the 1/2 inch. Anyway, I'm putting them side by side. I have also put together an album once where it just, with the tape alone, even though I was using the good score tape, and I've seen plenty of people do this, I was not successful in getting it to not fall apart. So the spine of my album, or the signature, started to pull it apart. So I had to do a lot of repair on that one. Luckily, that one was for me. Anyway, so this was 1/4 inch. It's over just a little bit. So I'm going to add a bead of glue along the side there to absolutely make sure that this is all going to stick. As a matter of fact, I'm going to add more than just a bead of glue, and I'm going to show you what I'm doing. So you know already some of the sizes. This is 8.5 by 11 paper. It's not as close to me as I normally have it. So I'm pulling that one off. I'm not one of those people who is so uber careful. Probably I should be. You know, there are a lot of people who only pull this down a little bit. And that's absolutely a way to go. And a lot of people do that way. And it's very successful for them. Rosa Kelly, I think, does it that way. She is, if you haven't watched her, oh my goodness, Rosa Kelly, and the albums that she makes, just amazing. She's a very talented artist. This one has a bit of a little, this one has, I don't know if you can see that. It's almost got a scratch in it. I know that's weird. So I'm going to make sure that goes to the inside. Okay, so before I put this down, I am using, and I'll show you what I use too. Where is it? I use craft glitter glue. And I refill it. I have this really ginormous bottle. I have another one waiting for me in my stock. And then I just ordered another one just to make sure. This stuff goes a long way. It really does. I mean, this goes a long way. My favorite is the art glitter glue. You have like a couple of seconds before it completely adheres. But I find that that's kind of all I need. All right. Ooh. All right. So do you see how dark that is right now? And I'm just going to go ahead and put a decent size. And yes, I'm putting it right on my adhesive. I want it to squeeze over the edge a little bit because I want to make sure that I've got coverage here. So I don't remember who I learned this from. When you put the glue on top of the adhesive, it actually works together. That is discolored because of this. This is apparently not a stainless steel pen. I thought it was. I just ordered more stainless steel pins too from Temu. Oh my goodness. I've got a bunch of Temu hauls coming in. I hadn't done Temu for a little bit, and then suddenly I just went bonkers. Okay, so I'm using this nice little piece right here. A little bit of glue over is okay. And even using this little thing, it's just slightly off, and it doesn't matter. It is quite all right. All right, just burnish there. Let me take a look down here. All right, on the outside, I am going to be a little bit more cautious with this one. I want this to, well, actually. Now, if it's going to show, guys, you're going to want to be more cautious with your glue. This isn't going to show because this is going to be on my spine and I'm going to cover it. I cover all my spines. So I'm not terribly concerned about a little bit of glue, but if you are, then you can just take the edge and just go over the top of it. And it'll dry clear. It'll come out completely clear. But this is going to be the inside. I'm sure I don't want to get it on anywhere else. Okay, so this is going to be the inside. This goes together fairly quickly. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this piece dead center. I want you to see what that means. What do I mean by dead center? Dead center for this line, okay? Or pretty close to it, because this is the joint that I want this to protect. So let's pull back out a little bit so you can see what we're doing. Oh, I pulled out pretty far, didn't I? Now we're looking at the edge of the. Let's move that just a wee bit. There we go. Okay. So the next thing I have to do, I'm going to start by adhering my spine. realized I need a drink, clearly. All right. Let's move this a little bit up because I want you to be able to see what I'm doing. I am going to, similarly to what I just did, although I'm not going to go overboard with the glue on this one. I don't really need to. All right. So I am grabbing my score tape and getting this kind of up and so one of the tricks that I did learn along the way, which is what you saw me do with the paper, I do use both the tape and the glue, and the combination has helped me not lose any more spines. One holds while the other one adheres and really sets. And these spines do need time to set. They do need time to fully dry and to fully, become. All right, what did I just do with that thing? Put it away. I actually put this back where it was supposed to be and I lost it. That's just so me. Okay. I'm just going to go ahead and get these off. By the way, this stuff, if you've never used score tape and you order some score tape, and I understand that the tape from scrapbook.com, I think that's supposed to be very, very good too. But it's pretty sticky, so if you get your finger on it, you're sticky. It's sticky. All right, I'm going to grab my little bottle. This is something else that I do. You saw my big bottle. I have this ginormous one, and I fill these little bottles, and I keep this big one. I don't like that this is discolored right now. It doesn't really matter, I guess, but I don't like it. So I'm going to put that one to the side because I do have the stainless steel pins coming in. The discoloring is rust. That's what happens when you put one that's not stainless steel in there. And even the stainless steel ones can get just ever so slightly rust-ish, darkish. I still wonder if that's stainless steel. No matter. So it's really, really important to get your edges. And fair warning, this glue, oh my word, does it dry fast. It really, really does. And this is better than a lot of the other ones that I've had. So you can see I'm really making sure that I get my edges. This one might not be as important about the edges, but I don't want it to fall apart. I don't want anything to come apart. More so when I put my, not accordion, my fold thing in. That holds the signatures. That you have to be super careful with. All right. I'm going to use this guy. Actually, I'm going to use it at the bottom because that's easier for me. So I'm lining it up along the bottom so I can see where I am. And now I'm putting him. Oh. Okay. So I've got him in place. Now, I will burnish it. I'm just not going to do it right this instant, but I will be burnishing this because I'm going to go ahead and put the other pieces in. And you're going to need to make sure that you're leaving a wee bit of space between your cover, your back cover, and your spine because it needs room to bend. If this was like this and you tried to bend it, you're just going to rip it. So it needs some room. That's like maybe 1/8 of an inch there. So let's go ahead and prep this one. I don't know why I put my tape away. I knew I was going to need it. I couldn't believe it when I was pulling my tape out and read because it'd been a while. It had been a hot minute since I had done some of this. Some of my paperwork like this. I mean, I've done some of the paper stuff, but it had been a while since I did albums. And And I was realizing that I was kind of ready. I go through phases. Right now, my phase might be I want to sew, and the next phase might be I want to make, some of the small stuff. And right now, I just really felt like making a bunch of albums. I also hope that they do well at the shows, that it's something unusual that people just don't see all the time. When I'm at the shows and I see what people have, I want to make sure that what I'm doing is standing out and different. And I think that having a number of these does make what I'm doing different. So there. So again, I'm just using the 1/4 inch. It doesn't have to be a big, doesn't have to be difficult. I am burnishing. And if you're unfamiliar with the burnishing, so this is what we call a bone folder. Mine actually needs cleaning, but this is a bone folder. And basically when I am pushing down and into, I'm trying to meld the fibers of the paper and the adhesive. It's pretty effective. So go pretty deep on this. I will say, when I was first starting out, if you don't burnish, and particularly if you don't like burnish well, when you try to get your backings off, it'll just start pulling the tape off. And the tape will be sticking to the tape will already have some, adhesion to the board, and then it'll just rip your board up, and it's a whole big thing. So, you don't want that. This, I got at Dollar Tree, and that little hook is great for holding things down while I'm pulling, and keeping my fingers off of it. All right, so you already know the deal. I'm going to go ahead and make sure that I am covering. One thing about this glue too, it dries super fast in the nozzle. Which is another reason why I keep the pens around, because I often have to get the glue out of the nozzle. Okay. And you want to be fairly quick, but I also want to cap that. So this is 6 by 6. Shouldn't matter. Shit, I never like this. I'm going to do that so I can do this. Now, to be fair, I'm generally not this neat. Very, very often I'm just eyeballing it. But for you guys, so there are all sorts of tools. You can use this. I might try this one next, just to try to get it to stay in place, because then I can I'm just lining it up. Okay. Last one. So again, these were each 6 by 6. This one was 2 by 6. I'm going to go ahead and get this one ready. I'm going to do our tape. Then we're going to do our glue. And this is how I roll. So I did cheat just a little bit on cutting my chipboard. I took the chipboard, I measured it out, what I wanted to cut, because I actually used, I got 2 fronts and 2 backs out of single sheets of 12 by 12 chipboard, which was great. Really, really great. I mean, it just cuts down on my timing for the chipboard, which can take a while you're trying to cut it. So I measured out on a 12 by 12 piece of chipboard, and then I took it into work early morning, went in early, before work started, well before work started. And I just took like 2 minutes and used the big guillotine, chop, chop, chop. It was done, and I got a lot of stuff started that day early, which was great. Because there's so much to do. So much to do. Okay. There we go. So again, I'm just going to use this little guy. See how it even pulled up the edge right there? Now, that will be fine, but it's just something to keep in mind. I mean, it's paper. It's heavy, heavy paper, but it's paper. So once this is all together, that will be fine. As long as I don't do any more damage to it. As long as I'm cautious with it. So let's get this last one. This one's being stubborn. Let me get this out of the way. And then we're going to get our glue. Our wonderful, wonderful. I'm sorry for the shadow. I mentioned that in the last one. And it is a problem. It is the arm for the device holding my camera above so that I can, really show you guys stuff instead of trying to balance a camera and do all stuff. But it can be problematic in its own right. I'm just making sure I got that glue on there. Okay. Because the lights are above it. And that's what I was talking about. When your lights are above your camera, so you see your camera's down here, your lights are above, you're, of course, casting shadows. And you don't want shadows. I don't want the shadows. I'm kind of stuck with the shadows. Okay, I'm just gonna... Okay. So, that's not bad. There you go. So far, so good. Okay, so there's two things I'm going to do. I'm going to just go over on the back of this with this piece, like pretty flat to what I'm doing. I've seen some people say it works better if you do, it works even better if you do the, like a circular motion. I haven't found that to be, maybe I'm doing a circular motion without thinking about it, but as long as I'm burnishing it, that is the big deal. Okay. So I'm just going to go along and do this. So I bet you're sitting there going, Sharon, why? Why, Sharon, why? Well, there is a reason. And that reason has to do with my just ever so slightly weakening those fibers, just a little bit. And I weaken them so that they don't snap when I start to fold them. So I've got some extras here that I don't need. I'm going to go ahead and take off approximately an inch. Probably a little bit more or less. So I'm just, again, I'm just eyeballing. I don't have to eyeball it. So I was going to, but I'll show you another way to do it because I know when I was new to this, eyeballing it would make, was making me crazy. I'm like, oh, I don't want to. So this is a Tim Holtz guillotine. It's not as big as the one at work, but it'll do. So I'm just, do not do what I just did. I just put my hands right on the blade. That's just not smart. I did not cut myself. Ooh. Ooh, okay, it came in a little bit, but that's okay because I have plenty of extra space over there. All right, so what I'm doing is I am doing a little bit of eyeballing. I'm just kind of doing a little measure out. I'm going to cut off a piece here, and so I can get it kind of out of my way. The top and bottom are fine, but this is just too much. I don't need all of this. So again, I'm just doing a quick eyeball. Okay, so I've already done a little bit of burnish, and all we're doing today is putting together this base. That's it. And then tomorrow I'll do another one. So I'm just kind of doing this in chunks also because I will turn into a pumpkin fairly soon. It has been a very long day trying to get technology out to people. Little Brit had a party to go to, a birthday party for a friend of his. So, okay. So we were there, out of town, about half an hour out of town. So I'm just taking it. I'm using the power of, do it this way too. So you can do it the first way I showed you. It really just depends on your paper. How is your paper handling it? This one was handling it just fine. So I'm just going to go ahead. And then I'm going to go do these sides. Let's see. And this last one, I'm going to go ahead and fold that last one over. Okay. So we're getting there. My next order of business is to get rid of these corners. Those corners are not my friend, and I don't want them. So there are a lot of things you can use. So this is a tool I picked up. You can buy this on scrapbook.com, or I don't know if Joanne sells it. Certainly you can get it off of Amazon. I bought mine on Temu. So this also it'll make the separation for you. But what it also does is it gives me an easy way to cut. So I'm going to grab my little finger cutter here. And I'm trying to make sure I know. I'm going to put that right on the corner. And then this should go faster, but I need a new blade. All right. And so I'm just mitering my corners. I'm going to go around. I'm going to do that pretty quickly on all of those. So this one ensures, when you use this, it just ensures that you don't cut too close or quite frankly too far away and have to keep going back and fixing it. What I'm worried about is that little corner just there. The rest of it can be, it doesn't have to be perfect, but that little corner, it helps when you can get the kind of perfect. There we go. Cut that guy. So I doubt I will do anything with these little corners. I put this guy away. All right. Perfect. I've got my album going. Before I go too far, I'm actually going to go ahead and gently, ever so gently, start moving this guy. And I'm going to do the same thing over here. So I do that. Again, I'm starting to train the paper without smashing the paper. Okay, now we're back to tape. So all in all, this is going to be about 14 and a half, maybe 14 and 3/4, no, 14 and 3/8 of an inch across, with all these pieces like this from the cardboard to the cardboard or the chipboard. And the reason I say that is because, just make sure you have enough tape when you do this. So I'm going to put my tape right up here. I'm going to do my long sides first because I just think it looks better. You don't have to. It's just my preference. Okay, and so now I'm also going to do this one at the top. What this will do is make sure that I don't have any gaps. I've got the top, I've got the very top when it folds over. I'm definitely going to have space for the it's going to be holding this in place, and then I will add my glue as I do. Okay, so I'm also going to get this one. Okay. There. And down here. I'm going to turn this around. Make it easier on myself. I don't know why. We all have orientations that work better for us, and this one works for me. So I would suggest, for me, I always work in my favorite orientation. I have seen some people put tape here. It seems to work for them. I don't know how it works. That has always confused me. So I'm not going to worry about the other two sides right now. First, I'm just going to completely work on this one. And of course we burnish. Burnish away. I was checking my phone for a minute. I do film on my phone. I have a very nice phone for filming. That's why we bought it. But every once in a while it'll turn it, it'll do something like if an alarm goes off for me to take my heart meds. It turns the camera off, and I may not realize that. I could film, and I have filmed entire sections of things, only to find out, oh, well, that wasn't filming. That's super fun. Okay. Not super fun. Super. Okay, now I'm just going to do quick. One thing about it, because you don't want much glue, you don't want to overpower your glue. This stuff is, very strong, very heavy duty. You don't actually need much of it. Okay, I'm going to start. Notice that I started in the middle to do my fold over. That's pretty important. To me, that's pretty important. It's what I do also when I'm fixing books in the media center, or doing the covers for the books, because we have to cover some of the books. I always go to the middle first and then smooth in and make sure I've got the other ones down. Okay, one down. One more of these sides to go. So I was saying about the glue. Yeah, that didn't even, this is why we burnish. Let me get that one. So the art glitter glue, you're almost scraping it out of the bottle or from the bottle nozzle. Not even almost. I mean, you really are kind of scraping it. What it does is it very, very much limits how much glue comes out, which is what you want. And I kind of love that scratching sound. I don't know why. Can you all hear that? I just kind of love the scratching sound. I know I'm weird. I am a happy weird person though, so that's good. I have nothing to complain about. I have a wonderful husband. I have 4 amazing children. I have a job that I really, can be stressful at times, but I really do love. Although I would love to do this full time. I would very much love to do this full time, providing you all videos and doing this. But until then, I'm kind of happy with what I'm doing. All right, so you can just go straight over, but you can also kind of push these corners in ever so slightly. And it's just something you have to learn to do. If you want it moved in, it's just going to be something that you'll have to work on. I'm just ever so slightly pushing those in so that they don't stick out or get harsh angles. Do this. So when the kids did their, I don't want it to go over too far. When the kids did their ensemble at the competition, we as parents don't get to hear that. They go off into a room, they're in front of the judges hear it, and then they're done. So I was very excited that they're going to be performing their ensemble piece at the spring concert. Very excited. So I am very much looking forward to that. To hearing them. And we were talking to my wonderful in-laws the other day. They were saying they would like to hear him play, because we record it. Of course. It is hard to get those, often those videos are long and it's hard to get them to upload properly. To send, because you're really sending it in a mail attachment of some kind. And okay. So, oh, you can't see that. So again, I'm really we got the steps down now. So I always do the long sides and then the short sides. And I know I'm not alone in this. It just seems to, I think it looks better when the book is put together. Okay. Oh, yeah, those corners turned out pretty nice. So, here we go. Burnish. All right. The main part of our book is almost done. I tell you, the first time I made one of these, it was just so cool to, think I just hand bound a book. So this size is perfectly fine, and a lot of people actually make sure that they're just using this size. This size got a little bit longer, but I wasn't going to cut it down. It was just so close. I did not see the need to cut it down any further. Okay. Let me get that one up. So Little Brit and his friends have decided they want to have a certain look tomorrow. So they've all got like fedoras and black suits. Oh my golly, Little Brit loves wearing a suit. We had to go looking for a suit for him today. And we were hoping that he would still fit, into the suit jackets in the young men's. He doesn't. It's his height. He's skinny as a rail. So that's why I was hoping that the young men's section would work for him. But not so much. So when we went into adults, it's harder to find the right sizing through the shoulders. We finally did. We just didn't find the color we needed. Gracious me. But my goodness, he looked nice in that suit. It was very well fitted to him. It was a pinstripe suit jacket. I think we found he needs a 36 right now, which is still slightly too big in the shoulders, but nothing that can't be rectified. Okay. So honestly, this is the other way. You're gonna rub your bone folder, and you're gonna end up with these great corners. Okay, now there's going to be a little bit more to do on the inside, but for right now, what I really want to do is do a wee bit of this. Making sure that it is ready to bend. There you go. We have the beginnings of a book. I'm super excited, actually. So the next thing that I'll do, which will be tomorrow, because I'm trying to keep these into reasonable snippets. So tomorrow, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and make the, oh my word, it was there and then it was gone. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and make the pieces to hold the signatures. And then once we have that in place, we will put the paper across the top and across that section, just to make it hold better. This feels so good, I have to tell you. It's so nice and smooth and pretty. Love it. Okay, so for tonight, that's as far as we're going to go. I'm going to go. Hopefully you'll be able to go as far as you want to, because I'm going to do these in pieces and you can just combine them if you want. But I hope you like it so far. I can't wait to keep working forward on this. I just ordered some additional bee paper. So looking forward to making that. And that's all I have for y'all today. So thanks for hanging out with me, and I will see you next time. Cheers.